But let's start with our first topic because we are talking about the Lakers because last night the Lakers were able to barely beat the Magic 111-105. They move into the 10th place in the Western Conference. AD, since LeBron's injury, has been averaging 26, 13, and 2 blocks per game. And this was coming off a buzzer beater loss against the Mavericks where they lost 111-110. And I was taking a look at both of these games, and the question is, am I more or less confident in the Lakers' playoff chances after this weekend? And I'm going to say I'm more confident in the Lakers since this past weekend. Because Darvin Ham sort of said his first comment really about LeBron's comeback is he'll play at some point this season. At least he hopes to. Now, could that be that LeBron actually may come back some point in this season and play? Or could it be, hey, we're playing at a nice tempo. Austin Reeves had the game of his life against the Magic. Can we keep it up? So maybe it's sort of hinted at, or LeBron may be coming back. But as it currently is sitting, look at the West. The West is wide open. Every single team is within like a game and a half of one another. Some even less so. The Lakers are in 10th place right now. They could move all the way up into 6th place very, very easily. I mean, realistically, right? I believe the Lakers have, 9 games remaining, I believe it is. I'll bring up their schedule right now for me, and I will tell you guys who they're playing. But they got a back-to-back against the Bulls, I believe. Here we go. They play the Suns, the Thunder, 2 games against the Bulls, the Timberwolves, Rockets, Jazz, and Clippers. The only teams I'm really fearing are the Suns, the Thunder, because the Thunder play up to them, or the Lakers just play down to them. And really, depending on how the Jazz play, the Jazz, because the Jazz are still technically in it. They have the same amount of games won and lost as the Lakers do. The Clippers, I don't know what the hell is happening with the Clippers. Do they have, are they good with Russell Westbrook? Can they know how to use him? It seems like they sort of know how to use him. Will Russell Westbrook have an off day? So they could, in the last, let's see how many games that is, 2, 4, 6, 8 games left, I believe, if I quickly counted that correctly. 8 games left. Could I see them go 4-4, 5-3? Probably. Will that move them into out of the play-in into a secured playoff spot at that 6th position? Or maybe even higher, depending on if the Clippers fall and then the Lakers beat them. Maybe putting them in the 5th spot. Who knows? But what I saw last night was very, very glaring. And even though I do think I am more convinced that the Lakers will be in the playoffs this year, I'm a little bit shaky with that because my expectations were already very low since they just missed the playoffs last season. So I was really coming in saying, and besides, LeBron's another year older, injury prone. They also have Anthony Davis, who, for me, I know Skip Bayless calls him, I believe, always disappointing. I'm saying he's always down because he's always hurt all the time. But the way I'm taking a look at Anthony Davis is I said it. The reason why he was, I believe he was number 2 on my pressure scale. He was supposed to take the reins of the Lakers if LeBron leaves or when LeBron retires if he decides to stay on the Lakers. AD was supposed to be handed the baton, take it, and then take the Lakers to, Narnia. Take him to infinity and beyond. Be that next Laker that really is transcendental among every other team in the league or every other big man in the league. And Anthony Davis has not really been that. He's been very, very inconsistent. And that's the big knock on it. He gets hurt and he's inconsistent. I want to talk about the Mavericks game for a second with the Lakers. I believe this game was Friday, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. I don't have the date in front of me, but Anthony Davis, he actually played pretty well. He dropped 26 and 10 with 3 assists and only 1 block. He did have 5 personal fouls. But in the last about, in a 90-second span, he committed a horrible foul, missed a couple clutch free throws. He's not a very good clutch free throw shooter or really a great free throw shooter overall. And then he makes a dumb mental mistake on defense. That literally, Maxi Kleber literally hit the game-winning 3. And people were drawing comparisons to another game winner. I forget what other team had. It was a side-by-side comparison. The exact same setup, the exact same play, and the exact same result with the Lakers losing on a buzzer beater. So I'm not really convinced Anthony Davis is the guy. Maybe he's your best player, but he doesn't have that killer mentality for when LeBron comes here and the Lakers need him to perform, to have the killer instinct to take over and win a game. Was it Austin Reeves, an undrafted guy last year, had to have the game of his life in order to beat these Orlando Magic. He had what? I don't have it in front. I think it was like 15 points, 13 points in the fourth quarter alone. I mean, they barely beat him. 111 to 105. Anthony Davis admitted that the game against the Mavericks was his fault. And then he comes into this game, the whole killer mentality thing. You failed your team in literally the game prior. You got to come in here, the game before. You got to come in the next game and take over the game with that killer mentality. No, what he does is he puts up a wonderful game, a solid game of 15 points and 11 rebounds. That's your guy. That's the guy the Lakers are banking on for when LeBron leaves or when LeBron retires. He's going to be the next guy to step up and take over this Lakers organization. I can't see that. He went 6 of 15 in this game against the Magic. I mean, since the All-Star break, or since the trade deadline, the Lakers are one of the best defensive teams in the league. I believe in a lot of categories defensively, they are ranked number 1. But you got to have games like this where the Magic are such a weird team. A weird team. They've beaten some of the top teams throughout the year, and they're just a very, very strange team. And I believe they're still technically in the running for Wembayana, I believe his name is. The guy who's expected to go first overall, I believe. Or maybe not anymore. They're 29 and 43. They are the 5th worst team in the NBA. It looks like Houston and Detroit are fighting for that, maybe with a hint of San Antonio Spurs. This Lakers team is a little shaky, but I'll get this off the screen for you guys. But as you saw, the West was wide open. The West was entirely wide open. Everyone from like the 12th seed to the 5th seed are like a game or a half a game to a game to a game and a half of one another. So if the Lakers go on a run here in the last 8-9 games where they, pick up 5 or 4, though, they can go 500 and probably secure a playoff spot and maybe stay in the play-in. As of right now, they are in the play-in. And this is the expectation. With LeBron, with Anthony Davis, I know LeBron's out, but with LeBron on your team, with this expanded playoff format, I think LeBron's expected, whoever team LeBron's on, is expected to at least make the play-in. And with the way Anthony Davis played early in the year, Anthony Davis was on an MVP run early in the year, dropping 30 points, 15 rebounds. Then he gets hurt, as usual. Then you got to come in. He gets healthy again, doesn't have the same amount of production. LeBron goes out, and we're back to inconsistent Anthony Davis. And we're hoping, Laker fans are hoping, that Anthony Davis has another resurgence like he did in the bubble. Well, the bubble, he had extended rest. He came in feeling good. And what does he do? He balls out. Lakers win the NBA championship. That's what Laker fans are hoping on. That with LeBron out, Anthony Davis could finally step up and make some plays, which it seems like he can't do whatsoever. It just seems that way. Austin Reeves literally needed to have the game of his life to beat the Orlando Magic, the 5th worst team in basketball. The Lakers played a lot of defense now that Vanderbilt and Beasley are on the team. Because you got wing defenders. But Anthony Davis, I talked about this. He needs to average this Mavericks game too. He was going up, his matchups were like, was it Dwight Powell, I believe? Yeah, Dwight Powell and Max Kleber, and he dropped 26 and 10. You should at least be going for 30 and 15 against those guys. Because you're a lot better than them. I think when you're at the top of when you're actually healthy and performing, you're a top 10 player in the NBA, probably even higher than that, if you're on full throttle. But the thing is, though, Anthony Davis doesn't really have a full throttle. He doesn't have a high motor, a high killer instinct that all the greats have, that all the great number ones have. Anthony Davis is very, very talented. Very, very talented. But he doesn't have the killer mentality. You need to, take a team and lead them to, in this case, keep them in the playoffs. Lead them to a secured playoff spot and not just sort of glide along in the play-in and hope LeBron's back or hope you could actually perform in order to secure a playoff spot, be the 7 or 8 seed, and advance. That being said, though, in the West is still wide open. I don't think anyone fears Denver. I don't know what it is. Denver just can't play. They just lost to the Knicks. The East this year is very much better than the West, I believe. because the West has like Denver, and then it's like 5 games or 4.5 games for the next team. The East just has a bunch. Like, let's see, the Denver right now is 48-24. And then what? That's the highest record in the West. The East has 3 records higher than that. I'm expecting the East win this year, and it should be the Celtics from top to bottom are the most talented team. They should win, but they can't hold a damn lead. So we'll see. But with LeBron out, Anthony Davis needs to step up for them to at least have a shot at the play-in. Think about that. The play-in. It got expanded 2 teams. The 9 and the 10 seed have a chance to get into the playoffs. And first of all, the Lakers missed that last year. And now with Anthony Davis, who they took away from the Pelicans, and you expect him to have the same amount of production as he did on the Pelicans, because he was tremendous on the Pelicans. Several playoff runs. Couldn't beat the Warriors, but it was the Warriors in their tip-top peak prime. So we're going to see in this last 8-9 games just how good the Lakers could be. But if Austin Reeves, undrafted, second-year player Austin Reeves, has games like this where he is the number 1 player, think about that. Anthony Davis is much more talented than Austin Reeves, but Austin Reeves literally took that game over in the 4th quarter and said, no, I got this. This is my game. This is time for me to shine. Which is very, very interesting how that turned out. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, if you want to check out the full episode, make sure you click the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to listen to this show anywhere you go, make sure you go to anchor.fm/The Harvey Hour or anywhere you get your podcasts.